me good.
Right.
So like I just it's an investment. And
It
like
definitely is.
to go back to your point of you have to package things and make things look a certain way. Like before when I did logos, I would do a branding style guide and I would make sure they got the final files. Well, I'm adding steps to my logo process now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to look at myself and I had to say, what are these extra steps worth?
Right.
And what are other designers not doing
Exactly.
here? And I started offering other things besides just logos. Like, I'm trying to give you a whole brand. We're going to do the mood board. We're going to do this. We're going to do the sketches. We're going to do the revisions. We're going to make sure the colors are what you're looking for. We're going to make sure that all of this is cohesive with the vision that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm because I've always wanted to do that, but for some reason, I would let my clients talk me out of it because of the price point I was giving them. Right. And then I was like, oh, well, it's not worth me doing this and that. Well, then I had to say, well, what's worth this? Because I really want to produce this type of work.
Right.
I really want to do it, but I can't make it not worth my time.
Exactly. And this is what has helped me in the past. I don't mind getting another job. And whether it be design or something else, I don't mind getting another job, and I'm working hard on that job to make sure I get a certain paycheck. I don't mind taking that job, and then when I have a client or a potential client to come in and say, I need so-and-so done, can you do it for $50? No. Because
that's what I like about having a full-time job. I can say no.
Exactly. And saying no helps. There is power in saying no. Because at that point, to me, it works for me because I'm like, okay, well, I'm busting my butt working what these people think I'm worth. But when I have a business, or because I have a business, I can charge you what I'm actually worth, what I know I'm worth, what I know I could produce for this individual, for this company, whatever the case might be. So I can charge what I'm worth. And this is just the way it plays out in my mind. I want my weekends. I love to have my weekends, and I'm like, if this price isn't worth me giving up my weekend or giving up this day in my weekend, it's easy to say no, because at that point, people are gonna start saying, well, they charge what they're worth. You can't go to them just because you're gonna get something quick and whatnot. You are gonna get charged what you're worth. So for me, that helps me say no to a lot of people, because before it would be like, oh, I need the money. And that's a horrible place to be as a designer. I need the money, so I'm going to sell myself short. And then people are going to be like, oh, well, you charged me this before. Why you can't charge it to me now? So, I mean, that's a horrible place to be.
Look, I'm balling up. Let me ball up this paper real quick. Trash. Just go ahead and throw them in it. Listen, I've been, like, the past couple of weeks, especially, like, the whole situation with my leg. That's a whole situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm throwing away clients like it ain't nothing. Yo, I ain't got the time no more. Like, there's this one client that I had that's, at first he was good. Mm-hmm. Then he started trying to start all these different businesses. Mm-hmm. And one of them was like this really high profile business in Atlanta. And I'm telling you, when he hit me up about it, I was like, shut up! You for real? Like, and then no, I invested so much time because he had a whole list of stuff. Mm-hmm. I invested so much time in it, and I sent it to him, made a proposal, made a timeline, made when this stuff should be, ready to go, when the things that he needed right now. Mm-hmm. Send it to him. And this is like, you get burned time and time again. Mm-hmm. Send it to him, and this is like a couple of weeks into the process, and he's like, man, it fell through.
Oh, gosh, I hate that.
And this is the thing. Like, business is a risk. Your time is a risk. So, like, if I didn't feel like that proposal and doing all that work to get everything lined up wasn't worth my time, right, I wouldn't have did it. And that's something else, too, that ad agencies do all the time. If they have a client and say, for example, if Target they want to redesign a gift card. Mm-hmm. And you have 3 or 4 agencies bidding to do that gift card. Right. Most of the time, the work that they put into it is going to be thousands of dollars worth mm-hmm. of work just to get the opportunity to get the $100,000 that they will pay for that work to be done.
Right.
And that's just, they probably pay more than $100,000 or less. I don't know what the price would be, but that's what usually happens. And whoever they like the best, depending on the creative work that they can do, depending on their price point, depending on like the timeline that they can get it out, they'll win the bid. But it's always a gamble because only one is going to get chosen out of the select few that they have in this bucket.
Exactly. And people like Target or bigger companies or whatnot, you can't be afraid to charge them more because it's going to touch more products. It's going to touch more places than a regular mom and pops. Not to say nothing's wrong with the mom and pops, but I'm just saying when it comes to value, like at that point, it's more so about value than it is a price point. It's about, okay, well, this is going to be less risk. It's going to be less risky for this company to hire us because if they were going to anybody else, then it may take 15 revisions. It's going to be quicker when it comes to us because we know what we're doing, and they're going to have a product that they can use. And that's just the main reason for me personally that I charge what I charge because I'm less risky than other designers. I've had people already this week, and this is just Monday, come to me asking me about another designer's work. They did express in the past that they wanted to work with me, and they still do want to work with me, but they don't want to pay what I've charged them. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine and good. But now they're still coming to me and they're asking me, well, hey, I had somebody to do this for me for $50, and is this picture okay? Like, I see the picture that I sent them doesn't look anything like the picture that they sent me back whenever they got done editing it. So I want you to tell me if this is fixable, or is it supposed to look like that? Because if not, then I'm going to go back to the designer and whatnot. And
no.
Exactly.
No, ma'am. You don't go to Victoria's Secret and ask them if Walmart draws is up to par. Hey, let me show you this elastic. Can you let me know if this is good or not, Victoria's Secret?
Right.
Hey, I got this $5 bra. You think it's going to push mine up just like yours? What do I look like?
Exactly.
Man, you making me mad.
And that's what I'm saying. My business is less risky because nowadays designers are a dime a dozen. Like, the people on the side of the street, quote unquote, design. But I mean, we're less risky, and like, you don't have to go through tons and tons of revisions. You don't have to like lose your money, because that happens so many times. People lose their money because their expectations weren't met, but it's because you're paying for what you are getting actually. I mean, if you're paying $50 for a flyer or whatnot, then I mean, you can't really
$50 worth.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I've heard of this designer in Charlotte.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And I don't know his name, so I won't say his name, but apparently he does cheap stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna write on this piece of paper because y'all can't see it, so it won't be.
And I heard he do it cheap and good, and he'll print it for you, and you can do all of this. Yo, he just wrote this name down to a T. No, okay, but here's the thing, though. You knew him. You knew about him. Mm-hmm. I know about him. Mm-hmm. So is he doing something right or wrong? He's getting business. Mm-hmm. He probably has like stencils for days that he's using, but he's getting the business that he's looking for.
He is. I think he has an actual location now.
Yeah, I heard about that too. And guess who's gonna be doing the eavesdrop? This is what I do, honey. Okay, I'm gonna just break this down real quick. If you competition, mm-hmm. I'm gonna. That's why I wanted
But I don't know.
But the one that did the hour-long, come on.
She trying not to say any names.
No. He was here.
Josh.
My mind. Josh. I wanted to say Jacob. I knew it was wrong. That's why I was asking. So, like, yeah, I listened to the whole thing. I did some research. I have some questions for him, too. I'm not coming for his throat. Not at all. No.
I was like,
no. As in, like, just to pick his brain a little bit. I wanted to see, like...
Josh is definitely good people.
I wanted to see, like, where he was coming from, like, his workflow and all that kind of stuff. I had a lot of questions, design and photography questions. Mm-hmm. But you got to scope out the competition.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now, like, where I'm I'm at a good place right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm able to spend the time that I want to or what I want to do. So I'm trying to, just like networking, you said we don't network. I'm trying to network, and I'm also trying to slit throats. The one that we was talking about.
Okay.
I'm not trying to slit his throat, but I want to see what he's about. And I want to have a conversation with him. Because these $50 designs, like, I have my own friends going to this guy to get designs. And I want to choke them. I want to choke them, but at the same time, you know what?
And to be honest, I really don't look at this person as competition. And from the outside looking in,
my bank though, like that's when I have a problem that's when I have a problem, and you making it hard for people to really make a living out here. And because you're probably like working day in and day out to push this stuff out, you have a lot of people coming to you because you're cheap. Does that mean that you're making a good living? He could probably be doing way more. And I'm telling you, if he were to double or triple his prices right now, he would still be getting customers. Why? Because they know him and they're comfortable with him and they know exactly like what he has to offer. And a lot of designers are trying to get there by starting off cheap, but it's like this. I don't even know what I'm saying no more. I'm getting so riled up. I'm getting so riled up because let me tell you something. When I found out about that, I was a little bit livid because I'm like, what's the point of working? People start jobs. Mm-hmm. They're 20 years in. Mm-hmm. If you're making the same amount that you were making when you first started, you need to change your profession. Mm-hmm. Point blank. So when somebody is making what I do and what I have a passion for cheap, mm-hmm. and making other people validate their thoughts of I should be cheap, I'm not a prostitute. I am not a digital prostitute. I am not finna sell myself, my soul, my time, mm-hmm. for somebody who don't think that I'm worth it. These people, I'm getting bad. These people. These same people go to you. They do a club flyer. They might pay you $50, $100, $150 to go do it. But when they do the club, guess what? If they're not getting the bar, they're getting per head. If it's after 10 o'clock, guess what? They're charging $5 to $10 a head. If mm-hmm. it's 300 people in there, guess how much they taking home? Guess how much you took home? Guess how many people that is in that club saw your design? Mm-hmm. So you're selling yourself short.
Personally, like I said,
I don't flip this table.
I don't look at this person as competition. For one, I think it's comparing apples to oranges. Like I said, I don't know anything about this person. I've never been to their location. I've heard of them when they didn't have an actual location, but I mean, I look at them more so as like a print company or a print shop. Yeah, they do flyers and things like that, but most people that go to this person, they want things like on the spot. They want it quick. They want it like they just want it to be boom, 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 boom. And that's fine, but if that's your target audience, that's fine, because that's not my target audience. My target audience is a lot of the time people that are building a business and they don't have time for your stuff to look halfway done. Not saying that's how theirs look, but they want their things look a little more detailed, because trust me, people can tell when you got stuff done for cheap. And if you have a cheap budget, you need to go to that person, or you need to go to Vista Prints, or you need to go to wherever you want to go, because a lot of the times people that are like that, they don't have a budget and then they want to go True. On and on and on about revisions. They want to go on and on and on about stuff. And a lot of the times our visions aren't parallel, because at the end of the day, your work represents me as a designer, but it also, how can I say that? It represents me as a designer, and it represents my brand. So I don't want my brand on club flyers unless it's an upscale club and they have a specific look. So if that's your target audience, if you are, if you're the type of designer that wants to be cheap, and there's nothing wrong being cheap, because if that works for you, that works for you, but that doesn't work for me, because I'm not going to give them my weekends for a $50 flyer. And I mean, to be honest, consumers, they don't care if it took you all day to design. They don't care if you're using the same flyer that somebody else had. But I mean, that's just not my MO, and that's not the way I want my business to be looked at. So if that works for you and it hasn't working for you, Bruh, listen, I applaud you because you could be out here selling drugs. You could be doing whatever you want to do, but you're making an honest living. But at the same time, we got two different visions. So I don't really look at them as competition. So